Hey everybody, welcome to the GMG review. Today we're taking a look at Fireheart for Frostgrave 2nd Edition by Osprey Games, which they were kind enough to send along as a complimentary review copy. Now, what is Fireheart? Well, this is a golem slash construct focused expansion that includes a bunch of new scenarios, a bunch of new treasure, expanded rules, and bestiary for different constructs, and allows you to basically be a almost like a steampunky kind of wizard. You can make construct arms and legs for yourself if you need to, and have your big robot friend who's powered by magic accompany you through your various adventures. So advanced animation is the first chapter. New soldiers such as a construct familiar and hound, and new sort of like human soldiers like the scrounger and the tinker to find you parts. Interactive terrain, which is a cool new add-on, and then the construct palace scenarios, which are a 5 scenario sort of like mini campaign. Then new treasures and base resources for being an animator, someone who's going to make all these constructs, and your bestiary of things like blade dogs, candlejacks, constructs of burden, demonic prisons, glassman, nogrubs, marmites, and rat swarms, with the new traits to go with them because they're new monsters. So this is the 11th installment of adding stuff to the game. There was a construct expansion that was, I believe, web-based only, Wrath of the Golem, Fear of the Golem. Basically, you're chasing a giant golem, and it had some additional construct rules in it, but this is more of a codification of those rules into the 2nd edition of the game. You've got a before and after animate construct spell. So animate construct is an out of game before spell usually. This gives players the ability to have constructs in the warbands after the first game. After this point, it generally makes more sense for the spell to be an out of game after spell, as this allows the players to restructure their warband based on their success or failure of casting a spell. In fact, there's one case below where I specifically state it should be cast after the game instead of before. In truth, players should just be allowed to cast a spell either way, so it's now a before or after spell. Scroll animation. A scroll containing the animate construct spell can be used to create a standard small, medium, or large construct with no casting roll, following the normal rules for scrolls. It can also be used to place the animate construct spell needed to modify an already animated construct, so you can do either or in a scroll now. Constructs can't drink potions. They don't have stomachs! And then repairing and reanimating. Constructs can be healed of permanent injuries and even death with the use of a miraculous cure spell as per the rulebook. However, under these rules, it is also possible to do this with the animate construct spell. In the case of the permanent injury, the spellcaster simply casts animate construct before the game is normal. However, they suffer a -4 to the casting roll. If the roll is successful, the permanent injury is fixed, otherwise it remains. In the case of death, or really a destroyed construct, the wizard and only the wizard can animate construct with a -6 to the casting roll after the game instead of before. You can bring it back to life. And then modifying it by also doing it with a -2 penalty. You can give it all kinds of cool things. They have different penalties. So you could buy it like a special eye socket, a mind shield, construct oil, potion reservoir. So you can have it carry potions. Armor plating, increase its armor. Treasure lifter, make it go without having any penalties. Thought command channel for it to, I believe thought command channel means that I can group activate around it. Demon Slayer, make it hurt demons more. Smoke release, you can build a smoke screen. Soul sight, extra arms. Lots of cool things. Designer's notes, if you're looking for some of these items, like the construct crossbow is in the Maze of Malcor. Construct hammer is in the rulebook. Construct oil is in the folio. Construct spikes is in the Red King. Varnish in the Maze of Malcor, and golem flesh in Forgotten Packs. Those are all items that are replaced by the new items in here. So it's now replaced by improved joints or elemental armor. So don't use those ones. Don't use crossbow, just replace with projectile weapon. So don't worry about the things that are in those supplements. They get replaced by what's in here. Climbing claws, it gets expert climber. So you can customize, give it explosive damage. It's got boom fists. This construct's been filled with highly volatile substance that's released when it's destroyed. Oh, explosive demise, sorry, not explosive damage. Extra arms, a flame discharger, +3 elemental magic shooting attack with a maximum range of 8 inches because you shoot fire now. Construct spikes gives it large spikes or horns, gets the horn attribute. And basically, yeah, treasure lifter. This construct can be modified to hoist treasure. It can pick up treasure without spending an action. That's subject to all the normal rules. This modification can be made no modification penalty. Undead Slayer, when it fights an undead opponent, it's +1 fight and damage. Watertight, it gains amphibious. Give it wings. I love this piece of art where it's like stitching up a body of like random monster parts plus like this is the guy. This is like the Rick from Rick and Morty of construct makers. And then animated prosthetics. So basically you can buy off your mutilations. If you've gotten jacked up during a Frostgrave campaign, you could give yourself climbing claws to replace lost toes or fingers, fighting claws for lost fingers, gem of power for any injury, hidden projectile for lost fingers or crushed arm, and they give you all these additional rules. So climbing claws give you expert climber. Fighting claws give you +1 damage in hand-to-hand and always count as being armed with at least a dagger. The gem of power. This prosthetic uses a gem containing 1 point of power, which can be used to empower a spell or a will roll. And then hidden projectile. Once per game, you can make a shooting attack with a range of 12 inches and use your normal shoot stat. Potion reservoir. Carry 2 potions that don't take up item slots. And there's an illustration of like a prosthetic arm. A toe ring. The figure is allowed to carry 2 rings at the same time instead of the normal 1. The figure is still limited to the usual number of item slots. However, this prosthetic does not take up an item slot because you have a toe ring. Your new ones, your Construct Familiar. It's got Construct, Cannot Carry Treasure, Expert Climber, and Construct Eye Socket, which is... If a Construct has a modification, any spellcaster may cast Wizard Eye on it. In fact, more than one spellcaster can cast Wizard Eye at the same time. The Wizard Eye now moves around with the Construct. So basically you get to look through him. And then he's like a fast mover, basically lets you node spells. He's only got 2 health though. Construct Hound. Construct can't carry treasure. It's basically a hound that's a robot, so you can give it the modifications and stuff. Scrounger. Extra black market modification roll and modification discount. It's 60 to higher, but you can get a 20% discount on construct modification stuff because he goes and scrounges at the store for you. And then a Tinkerer gives you a spell bonus for doing your embed enchantment or animate construct spells, +1. And always counts on with a dagger. Interactive terrain, so basically weird stuff that could be on the table. Spinning discs, creature magnets, mind wipers, turbines. So basically, if you roll an initiative roll, this is for the missions that are in here, but you can just have them be part of your games. On a 1, roll on the interactive terrain tables 1, 2, or 3. On a dice roll of 1 to 10, it's 1, 11 to 16, it's 2, 18 to 20, it's 3. And that's how many things will be on the table if you're going to use it. Like Columns of Luck, a creature magnet that sucks people towards it, a death rune, energy pylons, and there's tons of these. It's actually the bulk of the supplement. Magical fire that's like moving around, mind wipers, moving floors. This is like the Frostgrave that's kind of described in the background, where it's basically like, it's kind of like going to the Reach, you know what I mean? Like there's so much magical insanity happening there that weird stuff's happening all the time. It's got kind of a stalkery feeling to it, where there's all kinds of weird things happening. I love that the bulk of the book is this stuff, because I think it adds a ton. As opposed to just having creatures interacting with it, just like weird magical effects are happening too. And then more random creatures. The scenarios, I'm not going to spoil obviously the story for these, but there's 5 scenarios. And then new items, so things like, and resources too for your base. A Quiver of Free Will, which you could use to, I believe, where is it? Get rid of mind control, and just cancels it. Scattershot Comb. Figure carrying this comb can spend 1 action on it. Treat this fighter as figure as though it just cast the Scattershot spell, even if they're not a wizard. The comb is then destroyed. Basically, the cone explodes. A Sword of Power does +1 damage, and has 1 point of power in the same way as a staff, ring, or orb. That's a cool one. The Thunder Shaker. It's a musical instrument. A Treasure Cloak. It can carry a treasure token and reach a table edge when it's secured. The token's automatically secured, but the figure's allowed to stay on the table. So the cloak wanders off. It's basically the cloak from Doctor Strange. It carries your chest off for you. And a Wall Breaker. New for playing on here, the Beast Cherry, the encounter table for all the constructy stuff, like the Candlejack. I love this. There was a miniature of these. I think Reaper makes one, like Pumpkinhead bad guys, but I'm pretty sure there was a game. Shoot, what was it called? FASA made it. It was like Dark something. I can't remember, but one of the factions was like weird pumpkin-headed bad guys. And there's medium and large Candlejacks. They can get bigger. Construct of Burden. You carry stuff around. I like that there's just a dude here fighting a bunch of wooden toys. Demonic Prisons. Glassman. Beautiful arrangements of colored glass. And they are very dangerous. Gnaw Beetles. And Nogrums transform into them. So the grubs start as like worm-like creatures, and then they turn into the big things if they eat magic stuff. Magmite, volcanic monsters. And a rat swarm. I'm surprised the rat swarm wasn't here before. It was just giant rats before that. A rat swarm makes sense though. You gotta be able to have like multiple rats all in one go. New traits, a Lava Splash. It's very Super Mario. Sharp Teeth, +1 damage in combat. Potential weapon destruction. Whenever an enemy figure successfully damages this creature with a non-magical weapon, they must immediately roll a dice. On a 6, the weapon's been destroyed by lava. So when you're fighting the magmites. And then how to use swarms. All swarms are expert climbers. I like there's a swarm rule now. I feel like there should be more swarms in the game. I'm hoping he makes more rules for them. Because hands, feet are generally as deadly to a swarm as hand weapons, figures never count as being unarmed when fighting a swarm because you can step on them. And they're very vulnerable to attacks like grenade, destructive sphere, elemental ball, and scatter shot, and he damages ×3 from those because it blasts apart tons of them. And there it is, Fireheart. So basically expanded construct rules. I love, oh, that's a cool picture of the glass monster right there. That's really cool. I love that there's expanded like magical effects on the table rules. I think that's a much needed thing for Feldstad, where you can have these like weird magical anomalies going around. It's very like Zone Alpha, and I'm really digging that. I love the magical prosthetics. That's brand new for this book. And obviously all the new stuff for using constructs in the game. So if you're looking to add a little bit more steampunk, like magic steampunk stuff to your little more Full Metal Alchemist to your games of Frostgrave, this is definitely a supplement for you. Again, Joe always includes a little campaign as well, so 5 more games that everybody can play, and new monsters and baddies and stuff as well. So I'm excited for this. This is going to be a feature of the, I think, little Frostgrave campaign I'm going to do with Jay. I'd really like to see this. I want to use some of the undead stuff from Blood Legacy as well, too. Maybe do a vampire. I have some vampire models I want to paint. Maybe do a new Frostgrave Warband with someone who's descended into vampirism, and Jay could hunt me down with, I don't know, some kind of crotchety eldritch witch hunter who's trying to hunt me down and kill me. A Van Helsing type, maybe. But yeah, that's in the future. So anyway, big thanks for watching. We'll see you for more Frostgrave and GMG reviews. Till then, I'm Ash. Hey there, I hope you enjoyed that video. There are tons of other games already recorded for you to watch. Click over to my channel page if you haven't already, and have a look through the dozens of playlists full of videos. I guarantee you'll discover a game you haven't seen played before. I put out new videos 7 days a week, and every day is themed to a different genre as I continue to explore the wider world of gaming. Of course, none of that's possible without you, the viewer, so click a like and subscribe if you'd like to stay on top of what's happening here daily. My 2 kids and I are massively grateful to be able to have the flexibility of this job so I can always maximize my time with them. If you want to support me continuing to put out this content, it's only possible because of my amazing backers on Patreon who support the studio, equipment, and model cost, as well as being how I make the bulk of my living. You can also help out by buying a t-shirt through Spreadshirt, a measuring gauge or widget from Deathray Designs, or buying one of my games and supplements like Last Days, Gamma Wolves, and Blaster. As a way of showing my appreciation, patrons get early access to new games and supplements that I write throughout the course of the year. Huge thanks for watching, it really does help out, and happy gaming.